protesting what the majority want.
If you don't approve of gay marriage, then of course, as I always say, do not marry a gay person. But as you find,
I'm calling you a bigot if you don't approve of gay marriage.
But where did I call you a bigot? I don't like what you believe. You don't like what I believe. Listen, if I don't subscribe to your religious beliefs, I understand how you feel, but I don't want to be forced to live my life because it makes you uncomfortable a certain way.
If you're voting yes on Prop 8, then all of a sudden you're a bigot. They're not for you redefining the word marriage. A lot of people who voted that way.
The separation of church and state is why people are protesting. Why do you care what I call? No. And see, this is the thing. Just because I believe one thing does not mean you are obligated to believe it. That's the
question that I always ask people who are against this is, if I marry a woman, what is it to you? How does it hurt your marriage? That's what I want to know.
How about Prop 8? What do you got on Prop 8 here in California? They're continuing to fight that.
Why? What are you asking me, Jay?
Well, what I'm asking you. What I'm asking.
Well, I think it's terrible what happened. You know, it was such a great day for, you know, a new day in America. We elected the first black president, and then civil rights were lost.
I was going to say, I've been married 28 years. I don't know how. No, I don't know how two people getting married will suddenly ruin my marriage. No. I was told this will ruin my marriage if two gay people. How? What does it matter to me?
It doesn't matter, and of course, it's all coming from religion. And, you know, what if Jesus was gay? I'm not saying he was, but it wouldn't make him any worse. I mean, it could be. He was a gentle guy. He never got married. Every prayer ends with, Amen.
How are you, Tim?
Doing all right. So, I don't know that we need to have a long discussion. I don't understand the point. That's my only thing. I don't get the point. It's like, I don't believe in Santa Claus, but I don't go around shaking children saying there's no Santa Claus. If somebody gets some kind of hope or strength from believing in a higher power, why go on and start a TV show saying there's no damn Santa Claus? Don't be happy. Don't have hope. Don't believe in what you believe in. It loses me.
Okay, I'm not saying don't have hope, don't be happy, but the people who believe in Santa Claus aren't trying to take away the rights and freedoms of other people, and they're not trying to legislate their beliefs onto everybody else. That's the problem. They're not out starting wars with the people who don't believe in Santa Claus or who have a different belief in Santa Claus. And that for people to try to impose their religious beliefs on others is wrong. And in a conflict, the truth doesn't necessarily lie halfway between. One side can just be right or wrong.
These wonderful goofballs at the National Organization for Marriage, meaning, of course, straight marriage, have put together a new act to confuse the children. And the children seem so bewildered. They don't know what the hell's going on with these gay folks. Well, let's check out their ad and see how it turns out.
Grandma, my teacher says if Grandpa was a girl, it's okay. I'm confused. If my dad married a man, who would be my mom?
Marriage is between a man and a woman. Call Governor Lynch today and ask him to protect marriage by not supporting House Bill 436.
The storm is coming.
Oh no, I don't understand what's happening. Protect me, I'm a little child. And I just don't like the way they use these kids for their own hateful purposes, man. There's something about it that bothers me viscerally. Oh, I'm so confused.
Oh, Grandma! If my kid sounds like that, I'm going to take him to speech therapy classes. Something's wrong.
Like, what happens if Grandpa and Grandma are both chicks? Would that turn me on? I don't get it. Come on. Stormy scummy.
Death isn't always sad. I don't want to say Jerry was disliked by the gay community. Now, I know you're not supposed to speak ill of the dead, but I think we can make an exception because speaking ill of the dead was kind of Jerry Falwell's hobby. He was the guy who said AIDS was God's punishment for homosexuality, and that 9/11 was brought on by pagans, abortionists, feminists, gays, and the ACLU. Things like homosexuals are part of a vile and satanic system that will be utterly annihilated. If you're not a born-again Christian, you're a failure as a human being. There is no separation of church and state. And, of course, everyone's favorite, the purple Teletubby is gay. Jerry Falwell found out that you could launder your hate through the cover of God's will. He didn't hate gays. God does. You know what? Don't say you want something because it's your right as a human being. Say you want it because it's your religion. Gay men have been going at things backwards. Forget civil rights and just make gayness a religion. I mean, you're kneeling anyway.
Atheist life versus religious life. Atheists can be friends with everyone without having the thought in the back of their mind that this person's lifestyle may be evil. You have the power to accept people for what they are, rather than chastise them for being unique. Atheists can have relationships with people who have alternative lifestyles without feeling like they have to save them from some deity that's going to condemn them for being themselves. After all, atheists don't fear that a large part of the Earth's population is going to hell for being true to themselves. Atheists can engage other people without the feeling of having an agenda. We don't feel the need to probe into another person's life. Every time you meet a new person, you don't need to ask them about their religion. You can be their friend no matter what religion they happen to hold. Atheism isn't about evangelizing. Atheism is about thinking for yourself and encouraging others to do the same. Atheists do not live with the fear of hell. This is one of the hardest things for religious people to shake, and one of the best rewards. Religious people love the thought of heaven, but fear hell as a consequence. In order to lose the fear of hell, you have to let go of the false hope of heaven. Atheists have done both. Atheists raise free-thinking children. Let them pick a religion or none. What would you have picked? This is hard for parents. If a child wanted to be another religion, or even atheist, it would be devastating to most religious parents. Atheists do not force atheism on their children. We simply let them see the evidence for and against religion and let them make up their own mind. They may change their mind several times. This is okay. Atheists love their children no matter what belief they are drawn to. That is the beauty of free thinking. You can raise your children according to your values without feeling as though you have to defend Bible stories that even a child can see are fiction. Atheists do good deeds not because it's mandated, but because it arises freely from their own sense of goodwill. When atheists do something nice, it is because they want to, not because they're trying to please a god. Atheists can give money to charities that make a difference, and not to church tithe, where the money may not be as helpful to mankind. The feeling that comes from giving of free will is wonderful. Atheists accept that things that are yet unknown are simply things that are yet unknown. Science is marching on to new answers every day. We can rest assured that just because we don't know the origin of the universe, we don't have to put a God in that place. It is true the knowledge of the universe is very small. Why should we fill those gaps in our knowledge with a magical being? Why does a magical being make better sense than just accepting that we don't know? Atheists are comfortable with the unknown. We know that we are learning more every day. Atheists have the freedom to think for themselves, to have complete autonomy, to study what they want, to learn different ideas, and to do it all totally independent of external judgment from people or gods. Atheists can take science classes without trying to fit it into a biblical belief. Atheists are happy when they are proven wrong. It means knowledge has advanced. Knowledge and the pursuit of truth is very important to atheists and should be important to all. Atheists have a power to question and get real answers to those questions without shame. Atheists do not use a god as an excuse. We don't commit atrocities to please an imaginary being. Atheists are not chained by the guilt of the original sin dogma. You no longer